What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DK Sportsbook. We are the Tour Junkies. We're in person. DB, Pat, in Augusta, Georgia, ready for the Masters, and we're still on the heater, baby. Okay, We've hit like 3 winners outrights out of the last 4 or 5 weeks, 250 to 1, 135 to 1, ready to dish the goods for Augusta. Now, we covered a lot of trends, a lot of betting trends, a lot of things you need to know in our shows and our podcasts. You can check out on the Tour Junkies channel. There's obviously a lot of content on DraftKings, on DK Sportsbook, DK Nation. Check that out. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the DK YouTube channel if you haven't already. So if you want a little more in-depth breakdown of what needs to happen for somebody to actually win the Masters and the trends and all that stuff, check all that out. But we're going to talk about our favorite outrights, a few top 10 bets that we like. Now, we are recording this on Sunday evening. It's a little early, a little earlier than we normally do it. We're trying to get you all that Masters content you want. We've been to the course. We were both at the course yesterday for the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Walked the golf course, saw the property, saw the conditions. I'll be at the course on Tuesday. I'll be able to report back in our on all of our content channels on Tuesday. But, you know, born and raised in Augusta, we know what's up.
We do.
We know what's up. Yeah. Now, the weather is looking really interesting. We won't go into details here, but right now, there could be some really gnarly wind and rain affecting the Masters, and that could mean a whole different skill set, could kind of be what matters here in Augusta. But we're probably going to talk about a few names who one could say is they're kind of weather dependent. So let's get right into it. Talking outrights on the board as of now, Sunday evening on DraftKings Sportsbook. Pat, the first one that jumps out to me, I mean, obviously there's the big 3. I don't think Rory should be priced the same as Scheffler, and I don't think Rory should be shorter than Jon Rahm. I think it should be Scheffler, Rahm, Rory. I think Rahm is a value at plus 850. So, I mean, do I think Scheffler can win again? 100%. I think he can win. But I'll take a little bit of a bump in value for Jon Rahm at plus 850, and I'll take Rahm because the big 3 are there, and it really feels like they're in a tier, among themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as much as I love Rory, I'm a huge fan of Rory. Anybody that listens to us knows that. But I think when you're looking at the odds this week, I do not believe that he should be the favorite, co-favorite with Scotty Scheffler. I think he should be after Jon Rahm. And so I think you grab Rahm. If you'd like to bet the favorites, I think you go with Jon Rahm there at plus 850. Now, I do think, though, DB, I think Jordan Spieth at 16 to 1 is a great play. And you know what? He's not playing like the big 3 in general, like, you know, as far as wins and things like that. But when you think about Jordan Spieth at Augusta, I feel like he's got big 3, you know, potential. I think. Okay. So I think at Jordan Spieth at 16 to 1 is my favorite if I'm going to go outside of those 3 in this like less than 25 to 1 range.
I mean, I can get down with it. I think I actually prefer to have everyone's favorite, dancing family man on full swing.
Yeah.
Tony Finau, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Tony Finau, where he be now? Tony Finau, where he be now? He be 22 to 1. He be 22 to 1. He be 22 to 1. Hey,
he can win. He can win. He can win.
Hey, anyway, I like some Tony Finau, man. He checks all the boxes. He's got distance. He's got short game. He's got putting. He's got experience at Augusta. He's got form. He's won 3 times since July. He checks all the boxes from those key approach ranges of 175 to 225 yards out. That is Tony Finau's sweet spot. That's his moneymaker, baby. And I think he shakes it all over the rest of the field in Augusta at 22 to 1. That's my guy. I love Tony Finau probably more than any player in terms of overall outright value, probably more than any other player in the field.
Okay. All right. I'm with you there.
Keep rolling.
I cannot stop, though, without mentioning the first live guy that I want to bet in.
Oh, snap.
Cam Smith at 20 to 1. All right, look, Cam Smith is, before he went over to live, was probably the best player in the world. He may have been number 1 when he went to live. I can't remember. He was close, though.
I don't think he was.
Coming off of that Open Championship victory. Major winner. I do think he is a guy that is kind of weatherproof if we get some gnarly weather here. So I like Cam Smith at 20 to 1. And then, DB, I think if I want to go a little bit longer, Sung J M's my favorite guy at 35 to 1. Just a huge Sung J M. I'm kind of all in on Sung J this week. I mean, he's a great ball striker. He's another guy that I do think has a little bit of that weatherproof, potential there. So I like some Sung Jae at 35-1. Another one I'll go with it. I'll let you talk to me.
Okay.
Hideki Matsuyama at 40-1.
To win? We've been talking about Hideki, but really?
I think Hideki can win this. Obviously, he's won it before. He won it just a couple years ago back in 2021. Hideki at 40-1. I think I really just like the value there. I feel like we're getting a little bit of value there with Hideki. We always have an injury potential, but I just don't think that's like it's not a factor this year. I don't feel like he's injured. I feel like we just saw him play well.
It's kind of a factor.
It's always a factor, I guess.
It's not a non-factor.
Yeah. But anyway, I like Hideki. I like Sung Jae. Those are my two kind of mid-range guys that I think you need to look at.
I don't have a whole lot in here. I'm going to kind of start getting deeper into the bombs, and I don't have anybody beyond these guys because, trends, historical data would show, and the way that the top end of the board is playing right now, I don't really see an opportunity for a super bomb to actually win this year. So I don't think it's prudent for you to waste your unit on such a guy. Man, I'm a lyricist tonight. Prudent to waste your unit, I think Shane Lowry at 60-1 on DK Sportsbook. That's one of the best numbers I've seen on Shane Lowry, and I'm interested. Started off, his Masters record wasn't great. He's figured it out over the last few years. Had some good finishes the last few years. And I think he's kind of weatherproof. He's Rain-X, baby. You could use him when it ain't raining, when it is raining, when it ain't windy, when it is windy. I think Shane Lowry checks a lot of boxes. The iron play is solid. The around the green play is solid. He actually putts well at Augusta. He doesn't putt well other places, but he does putt well at Augusta. I think Shane Lowry at 60-1, he's a major champion. He's he's a multiple time winner on the PGA Tour. I like Shane Lowry at 60-1.
Okay. DB, I don't really have a whole lot past this either because you don't typically see this. We talked about the trends on our previous shows about, what we'd see as far as the winners are concerned. But I am also just really here. How about me being like the guy talking about all these live people? Okay.
It is
I'm
very
not like
strange.
The live guy. But Patrick Reed, I'm all here for him doing something and winning this.
We want the chaos.
55-1. I want the chaos. I want all the golf writers to just, their minds are blown. They can't believe it. They're so ticked off that the live guy won. That's Patrick Reed. I like it at 55-1. And you know what? We just saw him play well this week too in the last live event. Finished third, I believe.
Third,
right?
yeah. So, T3
with Brooks Koepka winning.
T3 in Orlando for P. Reed. I don't mind that at all. If we're talking about one more for me, Justin Rose at 60-1. An old guy who can win and grind it out conditions, who's won on the PGA Tour in 2023, having kind of a resurgent year. Good ball striker, good short game, very experienced around Augusta National. Sergio Garcia won as an older guy who had many laps around the National, who no one thought would ever close the door. Even Hideki, to some extent, even though we started watching him when he was super young, he had been around a lot, and nobody really saw it coming except for you. You had him the year Hideki won at 30-1. But I think Jay Rose at 60-1 is worth a pop.
Yeah, I agree there.
Any other outrights for you?
No, I think for me next, I would move on to the top 10s.
Well, start me off with some top 10s. Let's do it.
All right, so I mentioned him as an outright, but Jordan Spieth at plus 165, I'm just a huge fan of to finish in the top 10. Another guy I like to, on the shorter end of the top 10s, great ball striker, major winner, hasn't done a whole lot this year other than screw me out of winning a bet the first week of the season.
Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa is plus 210 to finish in the top 10.
I remember that quite well. I like the Jordan Spieth call. I'll give you a live guy. I think Cam Smith. 2-1.
I think that's great value on Cam Smith.
2-1 to finish top 10. He just kind of crapped the bed at the live event in Orlando. He was 5 under through 10 holes and went bogey double to finish 29th. Whatever. But obviously Cam at Augusta is he's a staple. I think he's weatherproof to some extent. That's an interesting top 10 number if you ask me on Cam Smith. My boy Tony Finau's plus 225. I talked about him pretty much a good bit. How
about a longer one in Justin Rose at plus 450? You just talked about him as an outright.
Yeah.
I think top 10 at plus 450 is a really good value number there for top 10. Justin Rose.
A young guy, second time making his appearance at the National, Minwoo Lee at 5-1 is interesting. A little less interesting if the weather is bad. But bomber, really good long iron player, really good putter. Not much of a short game, but 5-1, top 10 for Min Woo Lee. Finished T14 in his debut here last year. That's really solid. I think T6 at the Players Championship. Min Woo Lee is popping, baby. Yeah. So I like him. And then one more bomb at 9-1.
Ooh, 9-1.
Top 10. He finished T12 last year, and he's won the Masters before. Danny Willett. Yes, at 9-1, the Englishman who's having a really good year, a sneaky good year if you're not paying attention. And I also think actually he is weatherproof. Like, I would prefer him in bad weather, in windy, rainy, wet, nasty, grinded out conditions. I would prefer him there. But I still think at 9-1, a bomb top 10, he's worth it, even if the weather turns out to be okay.
Yeah, okay. I can get behind that.
Anybody else?
That's all I got, DB.
That's it. That's it for us. Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DK Sportsbook. Listen, we got a ton of content out this week. DraftKings has a ton of content out this week. Don't make a mistake and not look at any of it. You know, okay? Do it, okay? And have a great week. Enjoy the Masters from our hometown in Augusta. We can't wait for it. May your screens be green. Let's make DraftKings pay. See you out.